Hey everybody, how's it going? And welcome to another episode of The Finishing Blow. Hopefully you guys are having a good week so far. I'm sure you guys can tell I've had a very sporadic week. I'm sorry I didn't get a review done. I didn't get the fight of the week done because I've literally been car searching as soon as I get off of work. That's what I've been doing, is just driving from city to city, test driving cars, talking to dealers, trying to figure out what car would be best to replace the car that got totaled out. Now I do think I have a good reliable car, so hopefully next week things will be back to normal. I need to send out the contest winners DVDs as well. It's just been like literally getting home at like 9-10 o'clock at night and then going to work the next morning. It's just not fun, but I think it's behind me. I think I can move forward. So let's go ahead and talk about some martial arts movie news, shall we? Okay, first things first, China is apparently going to be co-funding the Expendables 4. Now, Expendables 3 was a disaster. I don't care how you look at it or what you pin the blame on, whether it's the PG-13 rating, the early leak, or the fact that it was just a bad movie, it did not do well. But apparently it did pretty decently in China, so they're going to co-fund it. I'm hoping that means we'll be able to see some Asian stars in the Expendables. Maybe Jet Li will pop in for another 10-second cameo. Everybody's been wanting Jackie Chan to be in the Expendables, so I'm pretty sure that request will be fulfilled in one way, shape, or form. I just don't know what they're going to do. I really hope they scale everything back. You know, they're waiting to do this film. It's not going to be a rushed out project. It's not coming out like next summer. It's going to be something that they're going to take their time with. And I really hope that they go back to the basics. The original one was still the best by far. 2 got a little bit far-fetched, and then 3 just everything fell apart. They tried to go too big, and it was not good. Let's just put it at that. So hopefully the Expendables 4 will be a return to form. Otherwise, they need to just get rid of that franchise and be done with it, because it just does not need to exist anymore. Okay, next up, last week I said that there's not a CGI Bruce Lee in Ip Man and probably won't be Bruce Lee at all. Well, now there's a report that's saying the opposite of that. They're saying that Ip Man 3 will have Bruce Lee. They're not saying in what form. They're not saying if he's CG. They're not saying if it's an actor. They're not even saying if it's for like a 2-second just little picture. So I don't know what to believe at this point. I'm just going to leave it at that. Bruce Lee may or may not be in Ip Man 3. Whether he is or not, I really hope that the success of the film does not hinge on this one factor. Like, I really hope they didn't build the entire movie around Bruce Lee, because it's just going to fall apart then. That's what happened with the second one, and I just really hope that they took the time to create a story that's compelling and interesting. You've got Jackie Chan, you got Donnie Yen versus Mike Tyson, and I really think that should be the headliner, not whether Bruce Lee is in the movie or not. So anyways, that's what I think about it. I don't know what's going on outside, by the way. Like, somebody's like drilling and just moving or something. I don't know. It's been a day. It really has. I'm sorry. Just bear with it for me. I promise I'll be done as soon as I can. Okay, so since I didn't do a fight of the week this week, I did the Challenger video as a post, because that's really the one that I wanted to share with you guys. It's an amazing short film. If you have not seen it yet, be sure to give it a look. I believe it's a Vimeo video. It's just awesome. Like, Andy Lee from Martial Club and Gita Silva are both in it, and it is absolutely amazing. If you like indie fights, or if you like martial arts choreography in general, it is definitely one that you need to look at. Okay. Next up, we also have information that the Kingsmen II will be beginning production next year as well. Now, apparently, they're pushing back the remake of Robin Hood, which, again, I don't know why they're doing a remake of Robin Hood, but they are. But they're pushing that back so that the Kingsmen II can be filmed first. I'm really excited for it. I still don't know what they're going to do, how they're going to handle the story. I don't want to go into spoiler territory quite yet, but there are some characters that may not be able to return if they continue forward in the way that I think they're going to. So I haven't read the comics. I don't know what they do in the comics, if that's going to be something that I can learn about. But they will be making the next one next year, and then I believe they're shooting for a 2017 release as well. So fingers crossed that we'll be able to see that and learn more about it in the near future. Okay, now for a franchise that probably just needs to go away. Die Hard 6 is coming, and apparently it's going to have an old John McClane and a young John McClane. It's going to have McClane from 1979, if I remember correctly. It's like 1976, 1979, something like that. And then the present day John McClane. So they're trying to think of a way to like reboot it, but still keep Bruce Willis in it. I don't know how that's going to work. I'm really hoping it's not like a Looper timeline thing where they freaking go back in time and meet each other, and just that would be bad. That would be a bad thing. A lot of people have been negatively responding to the fact that Die Hard 6 even exists. I actually haven't seen the 5th one. Believe it or not, I've watched Live Free or Die Hard, but I have not seen the fifth one, which was what, A Good Day to Die Hard. I've heard terrible things about it. I thought about watching it for the review, but just didn't have enough time to do it. But I've heard it's awful, awful, awful. So apparently the Live Free or Die Hard director will be returning for the sixth installment, but they're still trying to figure out what they're going to do, ironing out the details, so we have no idea who's going to be playing a young Bruce Willis or what the story itself is going to be. Okay, and lastly, for the news side of things, since there is no review, I went ahead and did a post about Fast and Furious 8. It's going to be set in New York City. Vin Diesel recently was on Jimmy Fallon's show and was talking about it. They asked him if he knew where it was going to be, and he boldly proclaimed that it's going to be in New York City. Apparently, the original Fast and Furious film, or franchise, whatever you want to call it, was inspired by a article, I think it was in Variety or something like that, that had to do with street racing in New York, and that's where the inspiration for the film came. But they changed the setting, moved it to LA, but now they are going back home, even though they actually never have been to New York City. Whatever. They're doing that, and it is going to be a very, very interesting thing. I'm not a huge, Fast and Furious fan, but if they continue with the trend of adding people like Joe and Tony Jaa in there, I think I would be more than happy to watch the next one and review it as well. I feel like it's a good thing to have. I hope they keep that momentum, and that Gary Gray is going to hire some really talented martial artists for this film as well. It'd be really, really cool to see that. And, I love car chases and things like that, but I'm really all about the combat. That's why I got the website. That's why I do what I do. And so I would definitely love to see another skilled name, a talented person, maybe somebody who hasn't had a break in Hollywood yet, do a film like Fast and Furious 8. Okay, so that is actually everything I have for this week. I'm sorry it's been so sporadic. I'm trying to get a handle on things. It's just crazy. When life hands you lemons, you just hand them right back, or something like that. I'm not quite sure how the saying goes, but you got to deal with what you got, and, it's just something I had to deal with. So I'm hoping next week we'll have some cool news. I'll be able to get back on track and go back to my regular writing and filming schedule so that you guys don't feel left out. But thank you guys so much for your patience. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is K Miller, and this week has been finished.